5 days ago, I shut down the Agentic Attention OS engagement engine because my account was starting to sound like a bot. And today, I'm turning it back on. Today is day number 2 of running the Manford Agentic OS on my account until it's monetized. I started with 1.5 million. I started this process about 4 weeks ago on June 24th. And I was at, you can see in the last 3 months, I was basically at a million impressions when I turned this on. And now today, on a 3-month rolling window, I'm at 4.2 million. So this is over a 90-day rolling window. The requirement to get monetized on X is 5 million impressions on a 3-month rolling window. Now, just to give you some context for some details on how this worked, I started the reply or the commenting engine, which just makes comments on other accounts' posts. I started that, you can see right around here, June 23rd, so about a month ago. And it started making anywhere from 150 comments to the most it ever made was 273. And I shut it off on July 17th. And then you can see there are a few outliers in here, and I'll cover these. But you can see on July 18th, my impressions absolutely exploded. And that was not from a comment. That was from a post under my own account that was scheduled through Typefully through the operating system. But that brings up an interesting thesis that I have where I had this high volume of comments that I was making over this period of time, and then I turn it off. And then a day goes by, I get 4,000 impressions the day before. And my theory is that something about the algorithm had seen me getting, prior to that, I was getting about 35,000 impressions per day. It had this outlier, which I can dive into this really quick. This was a comment that it had made on, you can see July 8th, and it was on, this guy's not a huge account. He only has 64K followers. But it was, if I work from 9 to 5 with an hour lunch, why can't I take my lunch at 4 p.m. and leave an hour early? Why is this a problem? And the AI that's running my voice says, because the whole system runs on everyone pretending the clock matters more than the work. This got 10,000 likes, which is the most liked post I've ever made. It's kind of insane. It got 25% of the likes that the main post got, which got 40,000 likes. So absolutely insane for a reply. And that was the first outlier. That was the first outlier that I had. That was this right here. And then it goes back. It's still making the replies. I turned it off shortly after that. You can see it basically right here. July 16th or so was when I turned it off. And the algorithm was used to my constant output that I think it boosted the posts that I was making from my main profile. Those had received some sort of boost to make up for the impressions that I was getting before. Now, this is just a theory. There's nothing that, like, evidence that I have that this would be true, but it is just an interesting case, somewhat of a case study. Now, there are a few things that I've learned since I shut it off and I turned it back on today, and I'll show you about it that I want to highlight. One would be model fallbacks. So the number one model I use is Grok 4.5, and then it falls back to GPT 5.6 Sol. The third fallback is either Opus 4.7 or Sonnet 5. I've noticed that Grok 4.5 adheres the best to the skill file that I give it in terms of staying on voice and not saying anything super sloppy like Opus and GPT sometimes just get into the not X, it's Y, and just like the common AI slop language. They tend to hit that frequently, and Grok is a little bit more unique in staying away from that. And the next thing I'll say is the importance of engagement versus followers. So I've revamped my list. The way that this works is it goes and it looks at my list. It's not just going on the broad X algorithm on the For You page and trying to find stuff to comment on. I have it defined as small, medium, and large lists, which were originally based on followers. And as we know on X, that's not the best idea because an account could have 1 million followers and get 10,000 views on their post, while an account with 50K followers could go viral much more often. And so I wanted to weight these more towards engagement. So instead of large being accounts that just have a large following, they have to have good engagement. Meaning if I comment on their post, I'm the first person to comment, it's going to get more views because people engage with that creator. Now, this brings up the next point, which is hunting impressions versus hunting relationships. They are two separate things. Hunting impressions is great if you're treating your profile like a landing page, because hunting impressions means you want to go to a bigger accounts that get, and maybe it's not a bigger account, accounts that get a lot of engagement, and you want to go to their accounts and you want to be the first person to comment on their post, something valuable that adds substance to what they created, or it's contrarian, or it's hilariously funny, and my skill file fills this out, and I'll be covering this tomorrow, but you'll want to comment something of substance on their posts, and people are going to see that, they're going to like it, they're going to engage with it, and they're going to come to your profile. You treat your profile like a landing page. If you have a product or a service or whatever you have going on your page that you are monetizing it, then that's good. Traffic to your landing page, overall good thing for you. And that's if you're hunting impressions. Number two, the second reason would be if you're hunting relationships. And this is when you want to shift more to the small side, because they have a high probability of engaging with you and having a conversation with them in the DMs. But if there is somebody that you want to build rapport with, and you eventually want to have a conversation with them about a collaboration or about a business opportunity or just building a relationship with them, then if you're constantly commenting on all their posts and you're adding substance, you're adding thought, and you're not spamming, you don't sound like a bot because we set up the voice profiler and we set up something that sounds like you, then they're going to see this person, the loyal reply guy that's constantly showing up, and they're going to feel it's psychology 101. They're going to want to reciprocate. So maybe they're going to follow you back, or maybe they're going to answer your DM, or you're going to get your foot in the door in that relationship. So that's the second valuable piece there. The third thing I'll cover is the gold archive. So originally, I had it set up it's a post-mortem loop. So when it makes a post, there's a cron job that runs in the background that's going to grab anything that had at least minimum of 5 likes, any comments at a minimum of 5 likes, it's going to add it to a gold archive. And the skill, every single time it makes a comment, it refers to the gold archive to see if there's any similarities between what the comment it's trying to make right now and something that is done well previously. So it can match the two. It's basically a pattern recognition game. And that has boosted the quality of my results. And so, high level overview of how this works. I'm going to go into the brass tacks, the absolute sauce of the full playbook tomorrow. So follow along so you don't miss it. But to wrap up this video, the engine is a closed loop feedback where it finds opportunities in the small, medium, and large lists. It's going to choose the best posts. So it's going to find something that's been posted, recency, it's been posted in the last hour, it's in my niche, it's not talking about like politics or some war going on. Like I don't want to jump in on any of that stuff. I want to be commenting on stuff that's going to have engagement in my niche and has a high probability of going viral down the road, maybe a couple hours from now, and it's going to pick up a lot of attention. It has a framework for analyzing that. And then it's going to write and publish the replies based on the skill framework. It's going to use my voice. It's going to run quality checks. The AI slop gate, this has been absolutely huge for increasing the quality. And it's going to make several of them and score the strongest ones. And any that have a correct score that make it past the gate, they get published. And then it's going to measure performance. It's going to track the likes and the views. And anything that is done well, it's going to iterate. It's going to iterate. It's going to iterate. It's going to iterate. And then this is just the one line. It's going to find attention. Where is the attention going? It's going to add intelligence. It's going to measure the result, and it's going to improve the next decision. This is the future of recursive learning and using recursive learning to gain attention. So follow along. You'll see the sauce tomorrow.